Hello and welcome to this DCU Tonight. I'm your host Rock Var here on the couch with the Politicant to wrap up the week of January the 25th in the DCU. Thank you for joining us. The show again is DCU exciting news and excitement in DCUO and DCTV and DC Comics. So thank you for joining us. It's been a very eventful week. We've got a lot to talk about in tonight's show. Couple new announcements from DCUO and some wrapping up of Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. It was a big week and some very exciting stuff going on over on DCComics.com. So we will get started right now with DCUO news. As you know or may not know, they postponed crossplay. So we were supposed to start crossplay this week. That has been postponed until next week. They've not really given us much as far as planning for that yet, downtime or anything. There will be a brief downtime on the 30th. That doesn't seem to be for the crossplay. So, but I'll read you a bit about that from DCUniverseOnline.com. If you want to go and check it out for yourself, go to DCUniverseOnline.com, go to the forums, and in the announcements section, you will see all the announcements you need to see. But there was a post there from MEPS today, I believe, at 7:03 p.m. All servers will be taken offline for a quick restart at 4 a.m. Pacific. Downtime will last about an hour, and the restart will resolve a technical issue with mail. So if you've been experiencing issues with mail, they're fixing that tonight. Little glitches are going to probably happen here and there as they get the cross-play thing lined out and do what they need to do over on that end. So not only are they working to get that resolved, they're also jumping in and fixing a problem with the mail, which is very cool. I mean, they're busy as it is. Cheesy beats. But moving on, we've got very exciting news in DCUO as far as PVE Legends is concerned. As you know, we've had for the past, it's been a good while, few months at least, we've had PVE Legends happening. A lot of times they'll do an event on the weekend, and then it's one map for several weeks at a time. But according to MEPS, who posted yesterday on the forum, he has stated that starting this weekend, existing Legends PVE events will rotate weekly. So beginning each Saturday and then ending with the following week on Sunday. That means every weekend we'll have 2 Legends PVE events active, one that has just begun and another that's just ending. The faster rotation will mean more variety week to week and less time to wait before the events and the feats. They put in parentheses, yes, and the feats. That's what I'm excited about. So that you need to come back. I don't know where we went after that. So less time to wait before the event, that you need to come back around again. This weekend, Legend Owen Science Cells will end, and Legend South Gotham Courthouse will begin. And it says make sure you check back every weekend to see which events are available. So they're going to keep us posted on the forums. But I feel like we've had Owen Science Cells for quite a little while. I also feel like we've had South Gotham Courthouse a couple of times, the way that I feel about it. But definitely we'll be checking out the feats that we've got. And I believe I might be lucky here. On VAR Nation, I believe we did an Updates with Rock and talked about what feats are available in Legends PVE Gotham Courthouse. I'm pretty confident that I've already done that, so bonus to me. I did something ahead of time, and it lucked out. So you can check that out on VAR Nation. Give that video some more views and likes and pass it around. Do some sharing of it if you don't mind. It helps us out. We will be very grateful to you. And to yours daily. And that is really it for the DCUO news, other than we're hanging out waiting for crossplay to happen, which will be going into play next weekend, or next week, I'm sorry. So really not a huge delay on that, and better, safe than sorry. So we'll chillax on it a bit. But a huge week in DCTV. Huge week. It actually seemed bigger in the moment, really, than it does when I'm thinking back on it. But it was still wonderful. We had Arrow to start with. And we started out the episode still wondering who it was in the grave and trying to get that whole, heartbreak waiting to happen underway. And we still don't know. They really didn't do much flashing of any type as far as showing us before time or after the event has happened or anything like that. So not a whole lot happening there. Diggle, the story arc mainly revolves around Diggle and his brother and them patching their relationship up, and that's the big focus, really. And so, you don't learn a whole lot more other than Diggle's brother's been a bad guy, and Diggle is John. They start Lyda pointed that out to me. They start calling him John a lot more now. So we move away from Diggle, and it's kind of hard because there's two Diggles on the show now. I could see that point of view.
Yeah.
That they have to differentiate between the Diggles. We have the brothers Diggle, the Diggle twins. They're not twins though, but they look a lot alike. The Diggle brothers, only one's taller. We have one much taller Diggle and one short Diggle. But so you see, and now it's awkward because I want to call him Diggle's brother, but he's also Diggle. That's awkward. So John Diggle's brother. If I paid attention to the guy's name, I would...
Andy.
Andy. Thank you very much.
I think his name is Andy.
I think you're right. I think his name is Andy. So Andy... See, that's why you get paid a salary to be on this show. And that salary is that I bring chili cheese fries home from work for you.
Thank you.
That again is why, or I didn't say that, but that's why the show's late tonight. I had to actually work, and that led to a late night. So now we're starting off several hours later than we normally would, but since I think most of our viewership comes after the fact watching the videos on YouTube, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, just as long as I get it done. And I didn't want to record it because it feels really not fun when we record it, and I'd rather just be live. So here we are live after midnight on VAR Nation doing DCU Tonight, which kind of makes sense because that's when like a late show or a late show would come on. So that makes sense. But anyway, so the show mostly about the two Diggles, Andy Diggle and John Diggle, and their bromance with each other. They end up working together to solve a situation, and I won't go into a heck of a lot of detail about it because it's worth watching, and I don't, when the episode is that much about just the vibes between characters, you kind of need to watch because it doesn't really do any good for me to go into great detail on, what it is that what is happening in the episode because it's kind of irrelevant, really. In my mind, when I watch the episode, it becomes all about Andy Diggle. Because he's like the polar opposite of his brother. So John is like this kind of Clark Kent type guy, and he had what is his name? What is Diggle's superhero name? Spartan. Which is pretty cool. I guess we could just start calling him Spartan then. Other than I don't want to get too used to it. But pretty cool because a lot of things happen here. There's ties back to their original, the Diggle brothers' army time, where they have people from their past who were corrupt back in the day end up being the leaders of these corrupt organizations now that they're even out of the military. And so they end up having to use Andy's relationship with this person to kind of fool them into believing that they're captured and he's ratting his brother out, and then they have a whoop down and they beat down on everybody, and it's pretty cool because it's like back-to-back Diggles back to back. You never mess with a Diggle because when you do, you get two Diggles. And that's not pleasant for you. We find that Felicity, who has been Felicity. Did I just call her that? Is that her name? She seems like a Felicity to me.
Felicity Smoke?
Yeah, okay, that's her name? Good,
Yeah.
okay. Because I thought that I was just calling her Felicity like I do with most females that have like brown kinky hair because of the show. But anyway, which she doesn't have. But anyway, the point being, we find out that she, who has been kind of talking to herself, or past version of herself, she thinks, and she's cracking up because her medication, really, but she kind of gets out of her own way and steps back up to the plate and takes charge of her little Felicity world again. And she's back, and she has her very own. This is really the big thing that I want to talk about, and I'm just going to do it now. So, spoiler alert. You can't have missed this on Twitter. She has her own superhero name now, and it's Overwatch, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is pretty cool, but the coolest part is when Ollie says, I wanted to use I wanted to use Oracle, but it was taken. How in the crap did Ollie know that that's taken? How does he know that Oracle's taken? My heart stopped. Like, my hair right now is standing on end. I have goosebumps. How does he know that? Has he come in contact with Batman? Has he come in contact with Barbara Gordon? Has he traveled to an alternate dimension with Barry, or Barry's told him about this? How? What? No one else in the DCTV universe yet has talked about Batman or anything relating to Batman, other than they're kind of taking the place of Batman. I mean, in a sense, they've pretty much turned Oliver Queen into Batman, but I really thought they were going to come right out and call her Oracle or Watchtower, and it was going to either stomp on Barbara or Chloe, or Martian Manhunter, I guess. But he said it was taken. He said Oracle was taken. And I don't know why. I'm just kind of like pacing around now thinking about that.
Like, how did that happen?
How and why? Somebody and I guarantee they're talking about it on Krypton site. I guarantee if you go to the Arrow page on Krypton site, they're talking about all the speculation about how this could be. But I have yet to go and check it out for myself. So I'm going to have to. But that just is a jaw-dropping moment where we have to wonder now, are they going to connect Arrow with Batman in some way? They could. I hope they do. I think that most people would probably agree with that. I don't know. But I hope they do.
I definitely would. My goodness.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do.
So that makes me very, very happy. Almost as happy. Well, no, I think that takes the cake. I think that's the DCU Tonight clip of the week, so to speak, for DCTV. I think that's the happening of the week. The next show that we watched, of course, was Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow is just out of this world. I'm putting it on a completely different shelf now than the rest of the DCTV, because to me it feels more epic. Maybe it's just because it's a group. I think that's what it is. It's the group vibe feeling to it. But it definitely has, to me, more of an epic vibe. We didn't see Adam do a whole lot. We did, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ray Palmer in full form this episode. We get to see him jumping around doing some crazy stuff. And I'm not even joking when I say this. For a television show and for the budget that they probably have, I feel like the scene they had with Ray Palmer when he was shrinking and growing and doing all the fighting, I think it was better than Ant-Man, to be honest with you. I mean, it was that caliber of a fight. He was just popping in and out and shrinking down to where you couldn't see him, but you'd see him throwing things around the room, and then he pops back up and punches the way that guy throws a punch too. He throws a punch like he's a pitcher, like baseball. Like he's Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
he nails it every time. So that was phenomenal. Continuing with them showing us that Heatwave and Captain Cold are not necessarily there for the right reasons. They start trying to steal things while they're out doing their missions, and Brandon Routh does what Brandon would do, and he stands up to him, or Ray, and wants him to stop doing it. So you get to see a little bit of conflict there. But mostly, again, we're looking at the Vandal Savage, Hawkman, Hawkgirl triangle. That's really what the story revolved around. It's pretty much what I feel like the whole series is going to revolve around, because that's the way that they think they're going to stop Vandal Savage. Hawkman and Hawkgirl. And little bit of fun that we get to have with meeting the Doctor's younger self. They're in the 70s, and so they need to get a hold of some of the work that he's done. And they go to the campus of the college where he's at and get to hang out in the 70s a little bit, do what people did in the 70s, party it up a little bit. That was fun, and kind of made the Doc think about himself a little bit differently, connect with his better half a little bit more, and it was that was a very good, well-rounded type of scene. I mean, we had a number of different personalities interacting with the world in different ways, so it was fun to see how each character would do it. That's kind of what's fun to me about watching. I don't know. I want to say buddy comedy, but that's not what I mean. It's like a group comedy. When there's 5 or 6 or 7 people, it's fun to watch all the different personalities. And I'm going to move over to the DCTV. Oh, I got kicked out. I'll kick myself back in. Well, that'll be cool if we can see the opening screen thing. It's going to pop up for me now. Nope, because I got my UI off. Now you can hear my music. There's my music. Make sure I'm still broadcasting. Yep. Nice. Alright. Sorry for the delay. I don't know what the heck that was. Anyway.
What?
Oop.
What's up?
There we go. Where were we before I was so rudely interrupted by myself? Before I myself interrupted me.
You like it due to the group.
Oh, yeah. So I like the
all the
group
different
stuff.
personalities and their interactions.
Thank you. You listen to everything I say. It's wonderful.
I do.
Read it back to me,
like
Lida. So, moving on from that, we end up in a situation where, and remember they're in the 70s, so I think it's 1977. I'm just going to pick that one.
5.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with that, because you pay attention better than I do. So, 1975. And so they're trying to stop Vandal Savage, who is auctioning off this nuclear bomb. And and they all show up, and this is actually the first time that young Vandal Savage now gets to see the team in action. And it's not a good thing, because now he knows what he's fighting against, and he knows what he has to try and destroy. But the point being that there's a very interesting fellow in the crowd at the auction, and it is none other than Damien Dark. And he looks the exact same as he does in Arrow. So I'm wondering what's happening with that. So Damien Dark creeping into Legends of Tomorrow with a connection to Vandal Savage. And Vandal, again, if you haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow yet, Vandal Savage looks like he walked right out of the comic book. Like, that dude is so Vandal Savage, like, I can't see him any other way. Like, it's just incredible. But we're going to have a little bit of it's kind of, well, no, we had crossplay with Arrow in the very first episode. So, but it's just, it's cool. We're going to find out how those two may or may not connect. But the biggest part of the episode, unfortunately, is what we'll talk about next. So this is what I would like to call the double, triple, mega spoiler alert. If you do not want to know the most crazy, heinous piece of information that came out of this episode, do not watch the rest of this clip, I'm going to say. If you don't care to know, or if you already know, venture forward, my child, and we will talk about it. So, I'm just going to I'm going to hit it like a really fast Band-Aid. Like ripping a Band-Aid off. So, Hawkman dies in this episode. We have Hawkgirl. She's just getting her memories back. She's starting to remember her romance with him. And in a battle with Vandal Savage, Hawkman dies. He is killed, deed, and left in 1975. So not only is he dead, but any hope that we have of him actually not having died gets overshadowed by the fact that they left on a time-traveling ship and left him there, his body there. I think they did. I do not remember them taking him on board. It's very possible that they did, but I don't think so. So now we have Hawkman and Hawkgirl split. It's not their time. That's what I guess we're supposed to believe. This incarnation wasn't the ones to make it. But now we have Hawkgirl left. She is the only one who can kill Savage with the blade that originally killed them. So now she's and the thing is, Hawkman thought he could do it, and he stabbed him with the blade, and it didn't kill him. Vandal just pulls the blade out and stabs him with it, and it kills him, because it had to be Shira the whole time. I don't really know why, but...
Because the blade, I guess, belonged to her.
Ah.
Even though he's the one that gave it to her.
Gotcha. So, now we have Shira by herself. Well, she's still going by Kendra, right?
Kendra.
But essentially we've got Shira by herself, no Hawkman opening her up. But I don't think Kendra was ever the one that was with John, right? I mean, that was just in Justice League Unlimited. She was just Shira in that. Mm-hmm. But it was, we liked it a lot. It was fun.
But I cried though. I want him to come back. I want them to be back together.
It just seemed like they were working they were just starting to work so well together. You know what I mean? They were just starting to click. She was just getting her memories back. I'm still holding out some kind of a hope that this can be corrected somehow. Or maybe that he just comes back into another body real quick or something. I don't know. But darn it. And they made such a big deal about them being on the show. Like, it was such a big, Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
And they look amazing together.
They do. They really... Or are they opening it back up for Cisco? Is she going to go back and rekindle her romance with Cisco now? Cisco needs a chick.
To me, I think it would be nice, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter who. I mean, it does matter. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, she is destined to be with him. So no matter who she ends up with, eventually she'll be with him again.
Yeah.
In my heart, anyways.
She will be. They've been doing this for hundreds of years. Thousands or hundreds?
Hundreds, but it's been 1,000, I guess, or something like that. I love their story. I just wish they could both be happy together.
Yeah, we have them in DCUO, and they'll be coming into episode 21, I believe. We'll be getting Legends of Tomorrow. And actually, SJ posted on Twitter today a picture of Hawkgirl, and she looks phenomenal.
Whoa.
Yeah, she commented that she was going to change her banner on Twitter to this picture, and it was a really nice version of Hawkgirl. So I think we'll be happy with that. But yeah, so the second episode already we're Hawkmanless. He was Khufu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to come back into Carter now? I wonder. Are we going to get Carter Hall?
Well, he was Carter.
He was Carter?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
From what I understood.
Then what's going on here? I don't even know. But, we'll watch the next episode and find out. That's only the second episode, so the fact that that much has happened so fast, and they're still focused on Vandal. I mean, it's. But now at the end of this episode, we got to see the team decide to go forward, and that may have been the point of it, because now the team has had the option. They've gone and failed. The mission's over. Hawkman, has died. And they're all pretty much going to throw in the towel, or that's what it kind of looks like. But it's not that. The team says, let's move forward and get this done for Carter. So they're all on board now, and should be a lot of badassery to come, I'm thinking. So we've got another big week in DCTV next week. I believe we've got all new shows. And it's February 1st, Monday. When do we get Gotham back?
I think it won't be until maybe the middle.
The middle of February? Okay. So we don't have to juggle. We're not having to juggle Supergirl and Gotham at the moment, but we are having to juggle Supergirl and the X-Files. That's not fun for me. But Supergirl wins automatically, so
yeah.
It's just how that goes. I'll watch the X-Files after the fact.
Sorry, honey, you had to marry me.
No, that's fine with me. I love the X-Files, but I feel like, it's a comeback too. I was going to say I feel like Supergirl's watching history happen, but then it ain't every day that shows come back. Seems like today it is though. We've seen a lot of shows come back from the dead. Or from the gone and empty. I'm going to move over to the Playhouse section for the DC Comics portion of the show, because we are going to go and take a look at DCComics.com. Check out some cool stuff they've got going on over there. And I'll end the DCTV portion of the show by saying, visit KryptonSite.com for all your DCTV news. They've got spoilers, news, photographs about upcoming episodes, interviews with the stars. In fact, Craig Byrne just did an interview with Tom Welling not long ago about Tom's possible appearance as Superman and Supergirl. And I won't spoil it for you, so go read the article for yourself. I will tell you he doesn't know if that would ever happen. And doesn't really say one way or the other if he would. It's going to be on what day?
Leap Day,
Oh, okay.
February 29th.
Oh, right on. So we've got a while to wait for Gotham to come back. But anyway, that is KryptonSite.com, and you can also jump on the forums there, talk about the shows in great detail, and they have fan fiction on there as well, as people can go on and post articles about, make episodes of their own and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So that said, we're going to jump over to DCComics.com. We're going to take a slight break from Mountain Dew. It's time for a dew break. Do you? Brought to you by Var Nation. Alright. Move over here to DCComics.com, and something cool that they just put up recently is from DC All Access. It's a top 10 Lex Luthor moments, and it's a video, so obviously I can't show it to you. I can talk about it, or I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to have you go watch it, but I am going to read to you a little bit about it. And it says, Lex Luthor has been creating trouble for the Man of Steel and planet he now calls his home for 75 years, and he doesn't show any signs of slowing down. With the new big screen version of the iconic villain arriving later this year, the time seemed perfect to recap the best of Lex's worst with our list of top 10 lethal Lex Luthor moments. Bald may be beautiful, but sometimes it's also very, very bad. And that is at DCComics.com. There's a link on the front page to check out DC All Access's top 10 lethal Lex Luthor moments. I am very interested. I am not very interested in Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, though. But for whatever reason, he looks bald in this picture. I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know what that is. Also, on DCComics.com, newly added, this is huge news. Huge breaking news. And if you're a fan of DC television or DC cartoons, you're going to love this. It starts out, The Legend returns. Kevin Conroy will voice Batman once again in DC's newest action-packed animated series. So there were a lot of pictures on Twitter and floating around of Kevin Conroy secretly working on a Warner Brothers set, said to be doing voice work, but we didn't know what for. And they were keeping it hush-hush, and they weren't going to announce it. My guess is this is what that was all about. And the series is called Justice League Action. And looking at it, I'm pretty happy with what I see in most of the picture. It's pretty cartoony looking, so it's definitely going to be. It's going to run on the same time, like on the same block with Teen Titans Go. So it's going to be geared more towards kids, obviously. But the animation looks very cool. It looks very, I want to say, Legion of Superheroes looking.
Yeah.
And except for this, and I have to say, boo! And I'm going to have to say it again. Boo! Superman has no red trunks on. And I hate it. I hate it when that happens. I love the trunks. I'm sorry. I know I'm not wearing them on my character, but I love Superman to have the trunks. I feel like it's his thing. And I feel like the only reason they changed it is because people made fun of it. And so that's, to me, no reason to change it. If it's your thing, you should celebrate it. But anyway, aside from that, it says there's a new DC animated series on the way. And this one's all about the action. Justice League Action is a brand new quarter-hour series from Warner Brothers Animation that will be coming soon to Cartoon Network. Featuring the return of Kevin Conroy as Batman, The Dark Knight will join with Superman and Wonder Woman and the rest of DC's iconic team of heroes in a series that promises to put the action back in heroics. Whether whether defending the Earth, facing invaders from space, or battling the bizarre forces of magic, the always rotating team of Justice League heroes are up to any challenge. Episodes will be 11 minutes in length. That's real short. Meaning that the action will be tightly paced and exciting and awesome. That's happening a lot now. Cartoons are going to shorts in a lot of cases. So, along with Kevin Conroy, Cartoon Network have announced that several other beloved DC animated voice actors will be contributing to the series, including Mark Hamill as the Joker, James Woods as Lex Luthor, Diedrich Bader as Booster Gold, you'll remember him as Batman, Brave and the Bold's Batman, and...
That's awesome.
Much more. They just left it and much more. Let's see. Sam Register will serve as executive producer with Butch Lukic. I hope I'm saying his name right. Sam Register was with does Teen Titans Go. Butch was with Justice League, Batman Beyond. Alan Burnett was Batman the Animated Series, and Jim Craig of the Green Lantern the Animated Series are serving as producers. Green Lantern was pretty good. It was pretty darn good. I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah.
We watched the crap out of that, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. So that should be exciting. It says Justice League Action will join the popular Teen Titans Go as the second ongoing DC animated series on Cartoon Network. No word yet on when it will be debuting, so be sure to follow DC Comics on Twitter for their premiere date, as well as further news on Justice League Action as soon as it's announced. So what do you think? Ready for another dose of animated action? Share your thoughts on which heroes and villains you're hoping to see below. So there's a comment section, and people have literally been leaving comments. There's a pop-up on here showing when a new comment is left, and it's been happening one after the other since I started talking about this. So it's appears to be going to be pretty popular. And to lead into our next segment, I mean, this is a triple threat we're getting ready to have here. We've got, and I haven't watched Teen Titans Go. I'm assuming you've watched Teen Titans Go quite a little bit, and you like it, obviously.
I love it.
So we're going to have that, and then we're going to have this Justice League Action, and then something that's been going on that I know we talked about once before, briefly, but I didn't really look at it in much detail until you started showing me earlier, is this Superhero Girls. DC Superhero Girls. And we're going to flip over there now. The pull, well, I guess I could, well, I'll come back to the pull list. It's no different than before. So, if you go to DCSuperheroGirls.com, there is a site here. Obviously, I've said it like 16 times now. It's called DC Superhero Girls, and this is a very, very cool thing. If you are a girl who is into DC superheroes, or you have a daughter who you would like to be into DC superheroes more, or even if you're a dude and, this is your thing, I don't know, come and check this out. I mean, this is a web series that they've got going on here, and not only do they have bios up of the characters that you can look, you can watch all the episodes. There are 11 episodes on here. The episodes are very, very short, so we're talking only a couple of minutes long. Episode 11 was like 1 minute and 24 seconds. But it's similar to what we were just reading about for the new Justice League show, is that it's very action-packed. Like, it's weird to say that. Like, I remember the whole time where I was kind of growing up on the internet as far as being on Krypton site and stuff, people used to talk about liking shorter episodes of things. Rather than watching an hour-long series or a half-hour-long series, they'd rather things be like 15 minutes and get to the point. And watching these shows, I can kind of see that now, because we watched the one that is Hero of the Month, Bumblebee is the title. And it pretty much, if they would have made an entire episode about that, I would have been kind of bored. But the minute and 24 seconds, or the 2-minute long skit that they did, told you everything you needed to know about Bumblebee, and showed her in several different like fight scenarios, and doing even helping someone find their keys. All that stuff happens in this 1-minute thing. It was enjoyable, and it's all I needed to know. So I guess especially for kids, because they have like short attention spans, I'm guessing, that are shorter.
But I mean, I would love it to be like 2 hours long.
Yeah, I know you would. You would watch that one over and over again.
Over and over again.
But the coolest part about, well, that's super cool. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not cool, because it's really, you know, it's themed to be uplifting. Not only is it superheroes, but they throw the villains on here too, but they're not even called villains. They're just called superheroes as well. I was reading about some of them, and they referred to them just as superheroes, because you've got Harley Quinn on here, you've got Catwoman, you've got Batgirl, obviously is a superhero anyway, you've got Poison Ivy, and they're all just thrown in the mix here at this.
And Star Sapphire.
Yeah, Star Sapphire at this superhero school. So I'll read to you what it's about, so you can get an idea what the plot is here. It says, welcome to Superhero High School. At Superhero High, iconic superheroes like Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Batgirl, Harley Quinn, Bumblebee, Poison Ivy, and Katana navigate all the twists and turns of high school. So see there, that's what I was talking about. They just say superhero girls. It's not, superhero girls and villains. United by friendship, the DC superhero girls empower kids to shine with confidence and courage, especially while they combat those overwhelming, exciting, and awesomely awkward moments of growing up. It says sometimes superpowers can be stressful. Aspiring superheroes can check out our exclusive web series for the full scoop on what life is like inside the walls of Superhero High School. In the spring of 2016, the DC superhero girls will come to life with a line of action dolls, figures, and accessories, books, play sets, and so much more. And that's what we were going to get into next, is all the merchandise that they've got going on. And like you said, hats off to Mattel. And that was a very good decision that DC, or I'm guessing DC's behind it, is going to Mattel. Is that they're really the second, they're the other power force out there besides Disney when it comes to the just all the toys and the marketing and that kind of stuff. So, and they've really done these right, and we'll talk about that in more detail too when we get done with this. But it says, if that doesn't have you bursting at the seams of your cape, remember that the world of Metropolis is at your fingertips here on the website. Play, explore, read, and get your cape on. It's time to meet the DC superhero girls. So that said, they do have a game on here that you can play. They've got several games actually. Every link is at the top of the page. And so there's a quiz on here. How big of a DC superhero girls fan are you? And we may use that at the end of the next show when we do the DC stuff, is let you take the quiz.
Ooh.
You could take the quiz live. Lida takes the quiz live. They have a section on here for Meet the Heroes, and it gives bios on all of the characters, about their powers, their personality types, what they, their likes and dislikes and all that kind of stuff. It's got all the ones that are going to be on the show here. And then we've got products. And this is where it gets super cool. Wow. So Mattel brings you Barbie, and it doesn't get any better for, I'm guessing, for little girls than having Barbie dolls that would look like superheroes, and that's pretty much what they've done. I mean, they're a little bit different than Barbies. They look more childlike, so they're more like Bratz looking. I don't know if you know. Am I correct in that? No.
I would just say like Happily Ever After High.
Oh, okay, there dolls. You go. Yeah, that's what it looked. So, and that's where I'm old. So I don't know Happily Ever After, whatever. But But that's what you're right. That's what they look like, and it says unleash your power with DC Superhero Girls action dolls. So they've got the dolls that are, it's probably brushable. They're posable, but only slightly posable, that kind of a thing. But they also have action figures, and I don't see a picture of that right here.
The only one that I saw was of Supergirl.
Oh, okay. But they were much more posable. They looked more...
Yeah, they had more points of articulation, like all over their body. It was really nice.
Yeah. So that, I imagine Lyda will have all of these.
I'm hoping so. Oh my gosh.
And I pointed out that if we have a girl, then she will be able to have all of those too. So... I don't know. Maybe if we have a boy, he would have to have them all too, because, Superman has to have somebody to date, right? There has to be.
Which we do have a Superman Barbie doll, so.
Oh, well, yeah, but those don't come out of the package.
But hopefully they'll come out with more lines, because I noticed in this web series that they also have Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, he's in there, Beast Boy is in there, one of the Flashes is in there. I'm not sure which one it is. It most likely is Barry, but...
Yeah, but that's cool. You know what I just realized? I guess... It's not so much that I just realized it. I should have known this the whole entire time. We have a Ken doll of Brandon Routh in our kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I just...
That's awesome. And Kate, whatever her name is. Bosworth. I always want to say Winslet. It's not it's but definitely Bosworth.
Shoot.
Yeah, we have a Barbie of...
Yeah, actually the Superman one, that is Ken. I'm not sure if we went to the Columbus Toy Fair and found that, or if we found that at a Comic-Con, but it was actually underneath somebody's table.
Yeah.
I was actually carrying my Barbie tote bag at the time, and a gentleman said to me, he was like, I actually have one that's very special that's really hard to find. And I said, oh, yeah? And he's like, yeah, I have it under the table. And he brought that up. And I said, I'll buy it. And then you were like, how much is it?
Yeah, I can see a price tag of $29 something or $27.99 on it. So I was probably like, hey, what? Okay. But that was the time. Was that the time we went and took our entire tax return and blew it at the toy fair?
Yeah, that was amazing. I love it.
We were driving a 93 Chevy Cavalier, and the entire inside of it and trunk was full of action figures. We went to the Columbus Toy Fair with our tax return, and we had these ambitions that we were going to buy all that stuff and then end up selling it on eBay, or I had this ambition. So I'm going through everything being like, oh look, yeah, we can get that for $10 and then we'll resell it, and then I've seen them sell for $30. So I thought we're getting these huge deals. So we packed the entire car and the trunk full of stuff, drive home, and fell in love with every piece of it and never sold any of it.
And kept it all.
Yeah, kept it all. Most of it came out of the box because we were idiots about it.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
But anyway, so that has us going back to the pull list, which hasn't changed. I do not believe. Let's see. It actually should have. No, they haven't changed it yet. So the pull list is the same. Suicide Squad, Most Wanted, Deadshot, and Katana #1, Justice League of America #7, Superman #48. All available now. So check them out. You guys, that's pretty much going to be it for the show. We're going to wrap it up now, but recall couple of things we want to go back over is downtime at 4 a.m. tomorrow Pacific, only about an hour, so don't freak out if you can't get back in for a little bit. really inconsequential. Crossplay takes place next week. If you don't play DC Universe Online, it is a free-to-play game, so you can go to DCUniverseOnline.com, download it to your PC, and play that way. Or you can go to the PlayStation Store, download it, and play for free that way. Be sure to visit KryptonSite.com for all of your DCTV needs, be it news, spoilers, speculation, just plain old chat. You can go over there and check out KryptonSite.com, K-Site TV for all of the various television shows that they follow that may or may not be comics related. And do not forget to head on over to DCComics.com, check out the all access video, the top 10 Lex Luthor moments. I've already screwed that up. Top 10 lethal Lex Luthor moments from DC All Access. Please check out our website, varnationdcuo.com. Be sure to go and head over to DCSuperheroGirls.com. Check out all of that we discussed in the last portion of the show. And thank you again for joining us. It means very, very much to us that you watch. If you like the episode or like the series, hit the like button. The show is DCU Tonight. The channel is Varnation. Up to about 130 subs now, so I'm very, very happy with that. I never thought we'd see it. So thank you guys, and tune in next week. We'll be on Monday night, I believe. It may be a late night Monday night. Depends on what my schedule is, but don't forget to tune into Supergirl at 8 o'clock on CBS Monday night, and we will, if I don't have to be somewhere working, doing things, I will lead into the show. If not, we'll do a late show. But again, thanks for joining us here on DCU Tonight. For Hippolyta Kent, this is Rock Var saying peace out.
Peace out.